Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Now, today on the table in front of us, we have a Cold Steel. And a Cold Steel that I'm really into it, actually. This is the Cold Steel Air Lite. This is part of their new ultralight series. They make it in this drop point. They make a Tanto version. There's even an SR1 Air Lite, which is made of HCR13 MOV, but we'll get to that later. I don't have one yet, but I might. This is that just really excellent Cold Steel AUS 10A. It is G10. There are no liners, so it is just reasonably thick chunks of G10 as the handle. It has a reasonable clip for Cold Steel. Lots of spring, good space for pants. It's not particularly deep carry, but that's okay. It is a lockback, as you can see, and the action is very good. I very much enjoy this knife. They are about 80 bucks, and you get a fair amount of knife for your $80. You really do. But the primary lean in here is that this light is see what I did there? This knife is very, very light. But we'll get to the weight in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do some of our standard size comparisons. We'll put it right there. Here it is against the Mini Presidio 2 by Benchmade. And as you can see, it is quite a bit larger than that. Here it is up against the full-size Presidio by Benchmade. And as you can see, the Air Lite fits just beautifully in between these two knives. It is a full-size knife because the full-size Presidio is a big knife. Let's get some measurements out of the way so you guys know exactly what we're talking about. So, the blade on this guy is 1, 2, 3, just under 3.5 inches of cutting on just at 3.5 inches of AUS 10A. The grip area, which is very generous from just behind, just into this first choil right here, is 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches of grip. It is a very nicely sized knife. I very much enjoy carrying it. It is very thin through the handle. We are coming in at just under a 1/2 inch. Now, mine came very well centered. No marks or mars, no issues with it at all, and it was used. I bought it from someone else. And yet it is still perfect. Cold Steel makes good knives. Now, you'll hear arguments. A lot of people have different feelings about Cold Steel. They make a lot of sort of gas station fighting level stuff. I get that, which, by the way, this would be pretty good. But in and amongst all that, they make the 8010, the 8015, the Cold 4, the SR1. The list goes on. The Lawman. They make good knives. They just do. This is no exception. I've had this for 3 weeks now. And part of what I'm doing during this time of COVID is I'm working for my father, helping him out on his property. My dad is 88, and we take care of our own. So I'm doing a lot of gardening and yard work, which means I'm doing a lot of cutting stakes and cutting open feed bags and seed bags, and you guys name it. This thing has been with me a lot, and it is absolutely marvelous at all of those tasks. It's not a razor blade. It does not come to a hair pop, it is hair popping sharp, but it doesn't come down to a razor blade edge. This is a work knife, and a very good work knife at that. It's called the Air Lite, so let's find out how light it is. Bring out the old scale. There we go. .1 ounces. 3.1 ounces. So you are right. In fact, you're a little over the inch, a little under the inch per ounce weight that people like for lightweight knives. This is a fundamentally lightweight knife and easy to carry in the pocket. It is very, very thin, although it has a nice thick chunk of AUS 10A as the blade steel. Let's go ahead and get a look at that. There we go. we'll do the handle first, since that's what we're talking about. At its thickest point, this handle is 1/3 of an inch, 0.3. It is very thin through the handle. Now the blade stock is 125 thousandths, or, hello, 3.19 millimeters. So, what does that mean? The handle itself is only 8 millimeters. So the handle is 8 millimeters, but the blade is 3. So it is very, very thin lined up against the blade. This is a marvelous carry. It really is. And I love... Aw. I love that. I just do. Do I wish it was deep carry? Well, yeah, I absolutely do. Please note, it is... I think you can swap from left to right hand carry. I got mine used, so I did not get another clip, but it looks, the way this is designed, like you should be able to swap the clip over, but I'm not 100% sure. And as a righty, I never had to really find out. So I'm not really sure about that. You can look into it later. It has a G10 full backspacer back here, and of course that Demco Triad lock takes up the rest of the space. It has thumb studs on both sides that are of equal size. So you can left or right flip this thing if that is your thing. You can roll it open. And you can snap it open. This is a marvelous knife. And for 80 bucks, come on. Lightweight, super durable, attractive to look at. I think Cold Steel has really knocked it out of the park with this. I really do. And that makes me happy for them. Complaints. Well, I don't really have any, and that's interesting. The jimping is the way you'd expect. It works just fine. I wish the blade was hollow ground. I know that adds a little bit of cost to the manufacture of knives, but I think it would add to its sort of overall EDC capabilities. The flat grind tells me that this knife is for harder use than I would probably put it to. It has no blade rock, no blade play at all. This is a superior pocket knife for 80 bucks. It really is. Things you should know. As with all Cold Steel, the pocket clip is very stiff. It will grab hold of your pants fairly easily. They did, and as they always do, right there at the edge of the clip. You see that right here? Right here. It actually rolls back down towards the pocket a little bit, which means this can be a little bit of a challenge to get into thicker jeans. And as I said, I've been using this as a work knife, so I've taken to lifting this a little with my fingernail as I slide it into the pocket. And look, that's just not something you should have to do. I wish Cold Steel would spend as much time on clip design as they clearly do on the rest of the design. And I mean this for all their knives. Cold Steel pocket clips are, we'll go with notorious, for a reason. However, as for the rest of this knife, the other thing they do that really bugs me sometimes, you'll notice, is that the thumb stud's a little taller on the right hand deploy than on the left hand. I imagine because these have a little bit of a screw, yeah, there's a little flathead in there. You can probably flip this fairly easily for left hand use, but come on guys. Just put the same size thumb stud on both sides. It won't hurt anybody, and it'll save a lot of people a lot of time. But look, I'm nitpicking. I really am. This is an excellent pocket knife in the $80 range. AUS 10A may not be super steel, but Cold Steel does marvelous heat treats on whatever it is they're choosing to use. Their AUS 10A is no exception. You're going to get a ton of useful life out of this. And again, at 80 bucks, you can't really go wrong. So that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. The Cold Steel Air Lite is an excellent pocket knife from Cold Steel. It is well made, fit and finish are very good, good steel, thoughtful design, and overall very useful, and at 3.1 ounces, it is a real lightweight. So if that's what you're looking for, well, maybe this is your knife. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions about the Cold Steel Air Lite or any of the knives you've seen on my channel, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Please subscribe. I would love to have you here on a regular basis, and we'll see you next time.